Daniel and Amira has been childhood sweethearts. Growing up in their small village, they had dreamt of a beautiful future together, with love in their hearts and hope in their eyes. Daniel had promised Amira marriage, but love alone could not put food on the table. With no job and no money, Daniel made a difficult decision to move to Lagos in search of green pastures. Wait for me, Amira. I will return for you, and we will build our dream together, he assured her, holding her hands tightly. Amira, though heartbroken, believed in his word. Daniel set off on his journey, his heart heavy but determined. Lagos was the land of opportunities, and he was ready to do whatever it took to make a life for himself and Amira. As he boarded a bus bound for the bustling city, he kept replaying their final moments. He was unaware that fate had other plans. Halfway to Lagos, tragedy struck. The bus Daniel was traveling in collided with a truck. The scene was chaotic: screams, shattered glass and blood. Daniel was severely injured and lost consciousness amidst the wreckage. He was rushed to a nearby hospital, where he was placed under intensive care. When Daniel woke up, the first face he saw was that of a beautiful nurse. She had been by his side since the accident, tending to his wounds and ensuring he was comfortable. "You are lucky to be alive," she told him with a reassuring smile. She became a source of comfort in a strange city. Days turned into weeks as Daniel recovered under Grace's care. She not only nursed his body but also lifted his spirit. She helped him find a job after his recovery, and they spent a lot of time together. Slowly, Daniel found himself drawn to her. Daniel struggled with guilt. He had made a promise to Amira, yet he was here, falling for another woman. Grace was kind, selfless, and everything he never knew he needed. One evening, as they walked home from work, Daniel realized he was in love with her. Daniel tried to resist his feelings, but the bond between him and Grace deepened. He told himself that Amira was waiting, yet he had not contacted her since the accident. Grace, unaware of Amira, also developed feelings for him. Finally, Daniel gave in. He convinced himself that things had changed and that Amira would understand. He proposed to Grace, and she joyfully accepted. They had a small wedding in Lagos, and Daniel started a new life, leaving his past behind. Back in the village, Amira still waited. She sent messages, but none were replied to. Her heart held onto the hope that Daniel would return, even as months turned into years. Rumors began to spread. Someone claimed to have seen Daniel in Lagos with another woman. Amira refused to believe it. "Daniel loves me, he will return," she told herself, brushing aside the doubts. One fateful day, a distant relative visiting from Lagos confirmed Amira's worst fears. "Daniel is married to a nurse," he said casually. The words hit at Amira like a thunderbolt. The love of her life had moved on without her. Heartbroken, Amira traveled to Lagos. She found Daniel and Grace together, their happiness evident. Confronting him, she asked, "Did you ever love me? Or was it all a lie?" Daniel, ashamed, had no words to defend himself. Grace, being shocked, learned the truth for the first time. Daniel tried to explain, but the damage was done. Amira walked away, shattered but determined to move on. Grace, hurt by the betrayal, questioned their relationship. Things were tough with Daniel. As a result of marital issues, he lost his job. Locked into sorrow, nights were filled with tears and days felt like an endless torment. The man she had given everything to had betrayed her. Determined not to let that pain define her, Amira focused on rebuilding her life. She threw herself into her career and soon caught up the attention of a wealthy business tycoon, Mr. Alexander. Mr. Alexander, a man of charm and wisdom, fell in love with Amira's strength and resilience. When he proposed marriage, she hesitated at first, but eventually accepted. This was a chance for her to heal and find happiness again. Marrying Mr. Alexander transformed Amira's life. She was now the wife of one of the most influential men in the country. Daniel applied for a job at a prestigious company, unaware that the woman in charge of recruitment was none other than Amira. When Daniel walked into Amira's office, he was shocked. The woman he had betrayed now held the power to determine his future. Amira remained composed but felt a deep sense of justice in the moment. Instead of turning him away, Amira decided to test him. She offered him the job, but ensured that he had to work hard to earn his keep. The tables had truly turned. Daniel, now struggling in his new position, realized the depth of his mistakes. His marriage was a failure, his career unstable, and the woman he had taken for granted was now more successful than he could ever imagine. Daniel approached Amira, apologizing for his betrayal and expressing his regrets. Amira listened but no longer felt pain. She had moved on, and her happiness did not depend on his remorse. Amira, now content with her life and marriage, finally found peace. She had everything she ever dreamed of: success, love, and self-worth. While Daniel continued to struggle, Amira thrived. She had learned a valuable lesson. Pain might break you, but strength and resilience will rebuild you stronger than ever. As she looked into the future, she smiled, knowing she was exactly where she was meant to be.